Hello friends, in the last lecture we have discussed how to solve the or how to form the partial differential equation by the elimination of arbitrary functions, the examples which are based on it. Now in today's lecture we will discuss the theory part of Lagrange's linear equation, what is its solution and what is the method of solving the given problem. So see, if the equation is given in the form PP plus QQ equal to capital R, if the equation is given in the form capital P into small p plus capital Q into small q is equal to capital R, where this capital P, capital Q and capital R, these are what we call it as the functions of small x, y, z. And what is P? P is dava z by dava x and Q is dava z by dava y. If the equation is in this form, that is PP plus QQ equal to R, where capital P, capital Q and capital R, these are functions of small x, y, z, and in that case the given is, equation is said to be what we call it as a Lagrange's linear equation. And further see, only Lagrange's equation, that is of the type PP plus QQ equal to capital R, that equation is only the linear differential equation of first order and first degree. The rest of the equations are non-linear. So if the equation is in this form, PP plus QQ equal to capital R, where capital P, capital Q and capital R, these are functions of x, y, z, then in that case that equation is called as Lagrange's linear equation of first order. And Lagrange's linear equation, this is a partial differential equation of first order and first degree which is linear. Rest of the equations are what we call it as a non-linear. So this form of equation is obtained by eliminating an arbitrary function phi from this relation phi of u equal to 0. So already under the article formation of a partial differential equation by the elimination of arbitrary function, we know if you eliminate this arbitrary function phi from this, it gives you this equation. So its meaning is, if this equation is given, its solution is this equation. So see again, already we have studied how to form a partial differential equation by the elimination of arbitrary function phi. If you eliminate this arbitrary function phi from this relation, it gives you this equation as a partial differential equation. Its meaning is solution of this linear Lagrange's linear equation is phi of u equal to 0. So where e and p, these are what? The functions of x, y, z. So differentiating these two partially with respect to x and y we get. Already we have discussed here this theory part. Under formation of partial differential equation by the elimination of arbitrary function phi from the equation phi of v equal to 0. So differentiating these two partially with respect to x and y we get. If we differentiate these two partially with respect to x, there you will get dava phi by dava u into dava u by dava x into dava x by dava x is 1. Similarly, there you will get dava phi by dava u into dava u by dava y into dava y by dava x. So all that part already we have discussed. Under here, formation of here the partial differential equation from elimination of the arbitrary function phi from this relation, is that part already we have discussed. So differentiating these two partially with respect to x and y we get, there you will get dava phi by dava u into dava u by dava x plus dava u by dava z into dava z by dava x. Similarly, it gives dava phi by dava p, dava phi by dava x plus dava phi by dava z into dava z by dava x is equal to, it gives it to be 0. And further friends, what you have to do, you change your x to y. You change x to y. Similarly, you will get the differentiation of here this function partially with respect to y as dava phi by dava u into dava u by dava y plus dava u by dava z into dava z by dava y plus dava phi by dava v into dava phi by dava y plus dava phi by dava z into dava z by dava y equal to 0. Now our target is to eliminate what? That dava phi by dava u and dava phi by dava v from here these two equations 3 and 4. So what you have to do, you shift here this term on the right hand side and then dava phi by dava p on left hand side. So it gives here, if you shift here this term on RHS, it gives here the required equation to be like this one. Now you take this dava phi by dava p on LHS and this bracket on RHS. So this term you will get at denominator place in LHS and this term you will get again at denominator place on the RHS. So it gives here the required result to be like this one, or here from 4 also by shifting here the second term. From 4 also shifting this second term on the right hand side, it gives here the required result to be like this one, this equation. And if we divide the equation 5 by equation 6, this dava phi by dava u upon dava phi by dava u gets cancelled. Dava phi by dava p upon dava phi by dava v with negative sign gets cancelled. And it gives here the required equation to be what? You will get here, actually friends, this bracket divided by, you will get here this bracket. In similar way, you will get this bracket divided by, you will get here this bracket. And if you have taken the cross multiplication and the terms containing p together, terms containing q together, and rest of the terms if you have shifted on the right hand side, you will get the required equation in this form. Required equation in this form. What you have to do, friends, you do that middle calculation, one step. If we divide equation 5 by equation 6, then what it gives? It this dava phi by dava u and this dava phi by dava u gets cancelled. And what it gives? It gives here this bracketed quantity divided by, you will get this bracketed quantity on left hand side is equal to, on right hand side, this minus dava phi by dava v and this here dava phi by dava v, it gets cancelled and it gives here this bracketed quantity divided by, you will get this bracketed quantity. And then you take the cross multiplication. You take the cross multiplication. You collect the terms containing p together. You collect the terms containing q together and rest of the terms you shift on the right hand side. So terms containing p together, you consider it as a first term. Terms containing q together, you consider it as a second term. And rest of the terms you have to shift on the right hand side. So you will get the equation in this form. So this is in what form? If we have supposed here this bracketed quantity equal to capital P, this bracket has capital Q, and this right hand side has a capital R, then what happens, friends? Here you will get this equation is in the form capital P into small p plus capital Q into small q is equal to capital R, is equal to capital R. Means you will get this equation in what form? This equation you will get in the form PP plus QQ equal to capital R. So we have formed here that partial differential equation by the help of this arbitrary function phi by eliminating this phi from this relation. So this is what we call it as a solution, but we will discuss that part here. Suppose U equal to C1 and V equal to C2 are solutions, where C1 and C2 are constants. So differentiating U equal to C1 and V equal to C2, we get U is a function of XYZ, V is a function of XYZ. So differentiating U equal to C1, it gives your total derivative actually du equal to 0. But what is du? Dava u by dava x into dx plus dava u by dava y into dy plus dava u by dava z into dz equal to, it gives 0. In similar way, P equal to C2, where V is a function of XYZ. Differentiating it, what it gives? dV equal to 0. But what is dV? dV is the total derivative of phi. and that is nothing but delta phi by delta x into dx plus delta phi by delta y into dy plus delta phi by delta z into dz. And if you observe, these are two equations in terms of dx, dy and dz, dx, dy and dz, and these are homogeneous equations. And you have studied here the Cramer's rule for solving the homogeneous equations. What is that Cramer's rule? If the equation is in the form a11x plus a12y plus a13z equal to 0 and a21x plus a22y plus a23z equal to 0, then in that case these two simultaneous homogeneous equations we can solve uh, as a upon e will get one determinant equal to minus b upon one determinant equal to equal to c upon one determinant. Here, sorry, x upon one determinant equal to minus y upon one determinant equal to z upon one determinant. Or suppose here this is nothing but a11, this is a12, this is a13, this is a21, this is a22, a23, and instead of x, y, z, we have variables as dx, dy, dz. So what we have to do, friends? Here, to get the value of dx, excluding the coefficients of dx from these equations, you consider here the coefficients of dy and dz in these two equations, you will get here that determinant here. Means dx upon you will get one determinant. What is it? The first of that determinant, delta u by delta y, delta u by delta z. Second row, delta p by delta y, delta p by delta z. And then if you evaluated that determinant, it gives delta u by delta y into delta v by delta z minus delta v by delta y into delta u by delta z, and that is written here equal to minus dy upon you will get one determinant. What is it? Excluding these coefficients, you consider this coefficient you will get it as first row, then this coefficient as second row, and you simplify. To eliminate that negative sign, first you take the product of these two together minus product of these two together. So dy upon it gives delta u by delta z into delta v by delta x, that is written here, minus delta u by delta x into delta v by delta z, and that is written here, is equal to, there we will get dz upon one determinant. What is the first of that determinant? The coefficients of dx and dy from first and second equation, means that is in equation 9 and in equation 10. Means first row it gives delta u by delta x, delta u by delta y. Second row, delta v by delta x, delta v by delta y. And if you evaluated it, it gives product of this into this minus it gives product of this into this, and it gives here this one. So in my sense, you understand how here that equation 11 follows from these two equations. So, and what is this? This quantity is our P. This is P. What is this denominator? This is nothing but Q. And what is this denominator? This is nothing but equal to R. Means it gives from 8 and 10, we have dx upon P equal to dy upon Q equal to dz upon R. So, solutions of these equations are u equal to c1 and v equal to c2. So therefore, phi of u equal to 0 is nothing but what we call it as a required solution of that given equation 1. Means if the equation is in the form of pp plus qq equal to r, then its solution is what? Phi of u equal to 0, where u equal to c1 and v equal to c2. These are solutions of dx upon p equal to dy upon q equal to dz upon r. So phi of u equal to 0 is a solution of what? pp plus qq equal to r, whereas u equal to c1 and v equal to c2 are the solutions of dx upon p equal to dy upon q equal to dz upon r. And this is nothing but simultaneous linear equation, and already we have studied that as a one topic under second order differential equations. So uh, in that case, we obtain u equal to c1 and v equal to c2 as two solutions of this equation. But what is the general solution of the equation pp plus qq equal to r, that is phi of u equal to 0. So see what is the working rule. First, consider the given equation in standard form pp plus qq equal to capital R, where capital P, capital Q, and capital R, these are functions of small x, y, z. Then you write Lagrange's auxiliary equations as dx upon P equal to dy upon Q equal to dz upon R. And we know already we have solved here this type of 8 to 9, 9 to 10 equations under the topic simultaneous differential equations. So same method we will apply here. So solving 2 by using the well-known methods means already we have studied these methods under the topic simultaneous differential equations. Under here the second order differential equations under that topic. Before total differential equation we have studied that topic. So u equal to c1 and v equal to c2, the two independent solutions of equation 2. And that part already we have discussed. The general solution or integral of this equation 1 is then written in one of the following three forms. Phi of u equal to 0, or we can write it as u equal to phi of v, or we can write it as v equal to phi of u, where phi being an arbitrary function. So if the equation is in the form pp plus qq equal to r, its solution is what? Its solution is phi of u equal to 0, or u equal to phi of v, or v equal to phi of u. And we know how to find u and v. This u and v, u equal to c1 and v equal to c2 are nothing but the solutions of this equation. So method of solving simultaneous differential equation and method of solving Lagrange's linear equation method is same. Only what is changed, simultaneous differential equations are direct given in this form, and Lagrange's linear equations are given in this form. So you write first step to be this one. We know Lagrange's auxiliary equations are given by dx upon p equal to dy upon q equal to dz upon r. And then you solve here these simultaneous differential equations. It gives the two solutions u equal to c1 and v equal to c2. Then for this equation, these two solutions together gives the required solution. And for this equation, you write the solution as phi of u comma v equal to 0, where this u is a function of xyz, v is a function of xyz. Or you write that solution as u equal to phi of v or v equal to phi of u, where that phi being what we call it as arbitrary function. So friends, in my sense here, you will understand here how to solve here that what we call it as a Lagrange's equation, or what is its general solution. Now we'll proceed towards what we call it as the examples which are based on it. So see, very first given equation, solve y square into z upon x into p plus xz into q equal to y square. So if you observe here this equation is in the form pp plus qq equal to capital R. So what you have to do, first you write here Lagrange's auxiliary equations as dx upon capital P equal to dy upon capital Q equal to dz upon capital R. And capital P is what? Coefficient of this small p. Capital Q is coefficient of this small q, and capital R is right hand side of the equation. So what you have to do, friends? Here, this is these equations are simultaneous linear equations, and already we have solved here this type of equations under it. So what you have to do? There are two methods for solving it. What is one method? In one method, you consider any two ratios, and if you get the solution, one of the solution or both solutions, you determine it. So if you consider here the first two fractions, this is equal to this, what happens? There you will get this x in numerator, z gets cancelled, and if you have taken the cross multiplication, it gives what? X square dx equal to, it gives y square dy. X square z dx equal to y square z dy. Z gets cancelled, so it gives x square dx equal to y square dy. And that equation is in what form? That equation is in variable separable form. So you solve it, it gives the required solution, or you first multiply that equation by 3. So it gives 3x square dx minus 3y square dy equal to 0. And take the integration, it gives the solution x cube minus y cube equal to c1. Here 3 gets cancelled. Its integral 3 is constant. Integral of x square, it gives x raised to 3 upon 3. 3 gets cancelled. There you will get x cube minus sign as it is. 3 as it is. Integral of y square dy, y raised to 3 upon 3. There 3 gets cancelled, it gives it to be y cube. Equal to it gives c1. So this is one solution. Now take first and last, this and this, so that y square gets cancelled. This x will get it in numerator and shift this z here, means it gives x dx equal to z dz. And in that case, again you will get the equation in variable separable form. So to get the integral, what you have to do, you first multiply throughout that equation by 2. So here this y square get cancelled, it gives x dx equal to what? That z dz. Multiply by 2 and shift this term on LHS. It gives 2x dx minus 2z dz equal to 0. So integrating it gives 2 into x square upon 2. 2 gets cancelled. There you will get x square. Minus sign as it is. 2 z dz its integral z square upon 2. 2 gets cancelled. There you will get z square equal to c2. We have obtained this solution as u equal to c1. This solution as v equal to c2. So if you consider these two solutions together, it gives the solution of this equation. That part already we have discussed under simultaneous linear equations. And if you have considered here, this is u, this is v. If you consider the solution phi of u comma v equal to 0, then that solution you will get it as a solution of this Lagrange's equation. So that is the difference rates. So it gives solution phi of u comma v equal to 0. So what is u? U is x cube minus y cube. What is v? X square minus z square. Here phi is what we call it as an arbitrary function. So friends, in my sense, if you understand what is the solution of these two solutions together is a solution of this simultaneous linear equation. And if you consider this as u equal to c1, this as v equal to c2, phi of u comma v equal to 0 is a solution of this Lagrange's equation. That is pp plus qq equal to capital R. So in my sense, if you understand here how to solve here the Lagrange's linear equation as well as its theory part. Friends, today we'll stop here. In the next lecture, we'll discuss the examples which are based on it. Means again, maximum here 2 lectures we will need to finish your course. So today we'll stop here. Have a good day, friends.